We got to do it. It is time to go to Cayuga Lake, the bass factory of New York. Oh, just the anticipation. Who knows how it's gonna fish? This could be a multi-trip kind of deal. Let's get out of here. This place is overrun with carp. Oh my God, look at that giant snapper. Look at that giant snapper. I mean, like, crazy wildlife, an abundance of bait fish, bluegill. It's just a healthy ecosystem. Lots of things can thrive. Good, healthy bass. Yeah, all these bedfish are super spooky, which is weird because they're locked. Chasing the gills off like crazy. They do not care about the baits I've thrown on their bed. This is the way to get bit. Okay, we figured them out. I mean, that's chokage. I think the jig is just much more abrupt than anything else. Some of these fish that are actually on bed, if you can sneak up on them, make a good cast under the dock, I think that's really what's triggering some of these fish to bite. I mean, is that not insane? I don't even know how big that fish is. It's a big one. It's like a 20+ inch fish. Another one. Not as big as the other one, but dude. Fish I would take any day of the week. Oh my gosh. Yep. There we are, guys. Back on, yes, you guessed it, Cayuga Lake. Little different conditions, a little windier, almost a little too windy for my liking, but as last trip proved, we know what lives here. So that's why we are back. This could be a multi-launch trip if this wind picks up anymore. Looks like maybe I should have gone up north, maybe to the other side to get away from the wind. We'll see, it's manageable right now. But yeah, we're back, and just to mix it up slightly today, I brought the old catch board. We're gonna weigh, or not weigh, we're gonna measure our best 5, kind of just for fun. Didn't get to fish a tournament at all this trip around, and I won't be able to because there's no more tournaments to be fished in New York. The only tournament I was able to potentially fish was when I first got home, and it was Saturday, and I had some other obligations, so I couldn't make that one, and that was Otisco, so that would have been cool, but it would have been nice to catch up with some fellow New York kayak anglers, some old buddies, old friends from the series, but I just couldn't make that one work. Not saying I'm treating this video, this day, like a tournament, but we are going to try to get five good ones and see what we can put together. Good job, Greg. Good choice of launch today. Good choice. Bite. I thought she was a bite. Oh, it was a bite. All right. Well, it could have been a bluegill or a perch, but it was a bite. And our last trip here, I'm glad I came because it was very calm, clear water, just a beautiful, gorgeous day, and I could see like pretty much everything in the water. Mainly fishing docks for the first part of the day, or the majority of the day, but to end the trip, we came offshore into this grass. Real healthy grasses here in Cayuga Lake, and I noticed that there was some holes in the grass that some of these fish were sitting in. A lot of fish, but had I not known that information from the other day, I probably wouldn't have come out here and flipped this grass. I mean, I know where they live. That's the good thing. I know where these fish are living right now. Just got to figure out the most productive way to get them to bite. There are really not many options out here. It's got to be flipping. This grass is so thick, so dense, you can't really throw anything moving through it. It's got to be something weedless and something, in my opinion, that can get to the bottom. Unless they're hanging up more towards the surface, then maybe we can get some reaction, but I'm gonna stick with this for now, and I don't know, we'll see. The wind isn't really getting any worse. I'm looking in the distance, it might be a little more calm. It's way up ahead. That's where the dock pattern was, and that's the pattern I was really hoping to get back on. Okay, this is odd. How have I not caught a bass yet? Doing this. I know they're here. What in the world? I know what you guys are thinking. You're thinking, well, it's obvious why you did the challenge. The best 5 challenge. You guys know that curse, right? Well, it's not a curse in New York. That's only California. New York doesn't play by those rules. So I understand your thinking, but the curse doesn't apply to New York when we do our best 5 challenge. Those docks are really looking tempting, so let's work our way up there. We'll fish it fast, working our way up, and let's go to those docks. There we go. Finally got one. As soon as I said that, as soon as I said, let's move on, we catch one. See, they hear you sometimes here. Now, the only thing about the flipping grass deal was these ones were definitely not as big as our dock fish from last time, but I figured just to get the skunk out the boat, I thought it would be a really easy fish to catch. We'd start flipping grass. Finally got a bite. Finally. Not a big one, but one for the board. Alright, we're just gonna look at that belly. A little one to start, but it's a start. Game plan's still the same though. I'm gonna fish relatively quickly so we can get to those docks ASAP. Could always try flipping a little later too. Up a little higher, no dock bites yet. That is so strange. So either these fish are completely locked on or they moved on. It's been like 4 days since I was here last. I mean, I know the conditions are way different, but these fish really shouldn't have moved too far. Might be worm time. I think it has to be. Maybe it's a worm deal today. It didn't take long to get bit when we switched over to the worm. And those are the ones right there. Those are the ones we were looking for. Alright. Jeez. Okay. So they're still under the docks. Just gotta finesse them a little bit more. Come here, big girl. There's one of the ones. Actually not super big, but it's a good one. That bloody tail, you know what she's doing. Get a quick picture of you. I'll throw you back. Keeper number 2. Thick one. Okay. I don't know if that's going to be the deal, but it seems very likely. It's kind of one of those days, situations where you cycle through baits, you cycle, and then you pick up the one, and it doesn't take long at all. You get bit, and everything just clicks. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see if that actually means something. Like, would that fish have ate if I threw a jig under there? I don't know. At least we got a bite on something. Drop shot kind of makes more sense. Something bottom oriented and something smaller. Profile, that is. This is another dock that had a bunch of fish on it the other day. Like a swarm of them underneath this dock for whatever reason. I mean, like every dock had fish on it, but only certain docks had like big swarms. I'm getting bluegill bites on the drop shot. Not a big one, but probably a keeper. Okay. Starting to piece it together today. Hey, not that small. Little keeper. Little keeper. I don't really want to measure them, but I feel like we got to measure them until we get 5. It's bad luck not to measure fish that are actually keepers and just throw them away thinking that you're going to catch something bigger. Alright, I think I got your photo. Get back there. Goodness gracious. Alright, so maybe drop shot. Bottom oriented bait, just like the jig, but smaller profile, because they seem to be a little pickier today. Makes sense. That's not a rock bass. Not a big one, but it's not a rock bass. Oh, it is a cull. Okay, that'll work. Quick release on him. Good old drop shot. So now we got to hit all the docks we initially fished with the jig, with the drop shot. Probably left a lot of fish on the table, or under the dock, more appropriately. There's Rocky. Oh, and a perch. I haven't caught a perch yet this trip. There's Rocky. There he is. There he is. That's what we've been waiting for. These are the Cayuga Lake dock dwellers right here. The rock bass. I think I mentioned this in a video last year when I was fishing. It's another lake. I think it was Owasco, and I just kept catching rock bass. That I remember when I was little, bluegill fishing, panfish fishing. I'd always love catching a rock bass because you catch like a rock bass 1 in every 10 panfish. So it was always like a bonus. I love catching them. Now it's kind of the opposite. Not as excited to catch them. That could be a PB rock bass right here. Never mind, he's just fighting good. Where are the largemouth? One came out and got it. Oh, it's a big one. Ooh, boy. That was a lucky bite. Jeez. We gotta swim something under there. Come here. Good one. A better one. Yeah, just when I think I figure something out with a drop shot, they eat the dang jig. These fish, I think, are locked on bed. Maybe that's why they're being a little finicky today. Thank you, sir. Back to the jig now? Gosh, these fish are so confusing. I can get the jig up under the dock though much better than the drop shot. So, I don't know, we'll see. Maybe we'll just try everything at each dock. That was swimming it out though, kind of interesting. Actually, since I haven't really had one eat it on the fall or the drag, little swim jig action, huh? Little swim jig action. Maybe a swim jig. It's a pretty looking bait. Getting bites though, that's all that matters. Getting some bites. We got 4, only 2 of the semi-right ones. I'd say a right one in a tournament on Cayuga Lake this time of year is a 19 plus, and we don't even have that yet, but starting to build a limit, get some inches. swim jig, second cast. Golly, these are big fish. They're good fish. Come here, buddy. Dude, look at the tails on these fish. These are bed fish for sure. Number 5. This one actually has some length to him at least. Nice long fish. Yes, sir. Well, maybe there's something to the swim jig. We'll see. Oh, big one. Man, there's a giant. Freaking swim jig, dude. Come here. There we go. There's one of the right ones. Another one with a bloody old tail. There we go. That one will make the team. I don't think we'll get as many bites on the swim jig, but I think they're going to be bigger bites. There's one of the right ones. Doc, I caught one earlier on the drop shot, I think. Actually, I lost it. Yeah, we gotta pick these docks apart, I think. They're eating this, even the small ones. Today's kind of been a perfect example as to what you got to do when you're fishing. Just use every bite, every fish, every clue you can to dial in what you should be throwing, what you should be doing. Kind of landed on swimming a jig for now. It's the way to get the biggest bite. The jig earlier wasn't working, but I think it's because we weren't A, swimming it, and B, the profile wasn't right. We needed more of a bluegill profile, which, you know, the smaller jig was a bluegill profile. I just think with the swimming jig and actually being able to swim it, that's what's getting some of these fish to bite. We were fishing the other jig just like vertically, just throwing it in, letting it drop, reeling back in, throwing it. This, we're throwing it past where these fish should be, spawning under these docks and then swimming it by them. Seems to be the way to get the bigger bites. And obviously we found out by accident because the initial jig we got bit on by reeling it back in. One came and clobbered it. Recording here. Whoopsie. Dang it. It's alright. That's why I got the back camera. Man, 21 and a quarter. That's a giant. Thank you, sir. Swimming a jig. Who would have thought? Man, that's two of the right ones right there. I mean, we could get close to 100 today. I think the NYKBF event they had here about a month ago, maybe it was a month and a half or so, I think it took over 100 to win, and top 5 were like high 90s, so that's what it takes out here nowadays. Just mega bag, absolute mega bag. Swimming a jig. No kidding. There's another 20. Oh. Come here, dude. You gotta be joking me. Oh. I don't know, maybe 19 actually. Holy smokes. These are the areas I went through earlier. Fishing all sorts of stuff. He ain't gonna be 20, but he's a good one. Maybe an 18 and a half actually. Yeah, you gotta trigger these fish today. You gotta trigger them to give them the bite. Oh, it's 19. Thank you, sir. Perfect example though right there. Like multiple casts at that dock, just hitting it at different angles. And that's what we noticed last time too with the fish. Like they were eating the jig but in a different way. But I did see fish that wouldn't eat my finesse stuff under these docks. They wouldn't touch anything, especially some of the fish on beds. I was actually bed fishing for some last trip, as you guys may remember, and they wouldn't touch any of my baits. But what I did notice was when there would be like little bluegill or perch coming through their bed, they'd chase them off. So I think that's why that jig worked last time, just landing on their bed or whatever near them, and then some fish just kind of suspended under these docks. But today, having to swim it through there, these fish are definitely on bed, and they just chase it off and smoke it, and that's how we can get them to bite. Pretend like little bluegills going through their bed. Oh, I have one. Shoot. Did it again. Another monster. Oh my god. Oh my god, it's crazy. It's so wild. What an insane bite. Oh. It's not even very long. Bloody tail though. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Well, I think if we were to catch one mega, like a 22, which that's a unicorn in this lake, I mean, they get really fat and big. Long, not so much. They're like clear lake bass, but I think if we were to catch a 22, we'd hit the century mark. You know these fish are good when you're getting bass palm. I got bass palm, not thumb. It's into the palm. Came off, son of a gun. Who knows how big that one was? There's no way he did it again. No way. I put so much hook into that fish. How did he eat again? Jeez. It's a mean fish, dude. Oh, there was one with him, that's why. Oh my God. I think that's another 1920. He's got the black dot. He's dotty. Measure him. Oh, 20. He's a 20. What a crazy day. I don't even know. Are we at 100? Do we have 100 inches? I don't think so. According to my calculations, we've got 99 1/4. That's getting up there. That is getting up there. We're 1/20 incher away from hitting that century mark in New York. I think the only way we're going to do it, though, is by doing exactly what we've been doing to catch them, is swim jigging these docks. It's no coincidence that all of our big fish are doing the exact same thing. We'll retie. There is a wee bit of grass around some of these docks, so that's why in this particular knot, Jimmy Houston knot, 3 tag ends. That's why I put the little bobber stop right there to prevent it from catching on the tag ends, the grass that is. It's not completely foolproof, but it helps. No. I don't know if it's 20. It's big, but I don't know if it's 20. Nope, that ain't gonna call. I mean, it's a good fish, but look at the... Man, these guys are just straight up on the bed. Throwing back 17, 18-inch fish, that's always a good sign. It's like, you know, there's a big fish on every one of these docks. No way. Hey, come on now. That's just wrong. Catching a Rocky on the docks. It's kind of cool. It's been like 5, 6, 7 years. I don't even know. It's been many years where we come to Cayuga spring-ish, summer-ish, and it always seems to be like a little bit different as to how we catch them. It's always like a little bit different pattern. One year up by the bridges, catching big pre-spawn, schooled up fish. Another year with a bladed jig. Another year throwing a pit boss around docks. One year was spinner baiting. And this year it's been obviously that finesse jig. First trip out, I was the real player and some flipping, but swim jigging the docks is probably what I'm going to remember most about this trip to New York in 2025. That's a big one. That's a 20-incher. God. There he is. There she is. $100 baby. 100 inches. What a way to do it, too. We're in the Cayuga Century Club. Man, what a beast. Part of the reason we're catching some big ones is because we can see now that storm is rolling in. I think we still got a couple more hours before it's here, but come on now. Oh my God. Oh man, what a bucket. What a bucket. $21 and a half. Oh. Yeah, buddy. Thank you, Mama. Getting silly out here. Getting silly. That one had me all wrapped up in the dock. I mean, it's not a tournament, so can't do any wrong. I'm not even netting these fish. That's all about the nerves, though. Tournaments, you get nervy. You do goofy things, and that's why you make mistakes. Fun fishing days, you don't have any pressure on you, and you just catch them all. Well guys, as it seems to always happen, this New York trip, it's going way too fast. It has flown by, and it probably goes so fast because the fishing is just always, you know, I don't even have to say it anymore. Quick recap, a little later session today on Cayuga. Launched the kayak today, probably around 11-ish. It's been raining quite a bit ever since our last trip out, so water churned up a bit. Figured we'd just start by flipping some grass. The good thing about last trip, other than obviously catching the fish, is I knew what they were doing. They were out in the grass, and then there was a bunch of fish under docks, some spawning, some not. So that's kind of like 90% of fishing, is just knowing where they are, where to find them. And then you got to figure out how to catch them. Did the whole grass flipping thing, and it was kind of slow. Didn't catch anything other than one small one, and that was right before I decided to leave. So yeah, caught one small one flipping the little stank bug. Did that for a while. Made my way to the docks. It actually was a little bit calmer over there, so it was an area I could fish. And it was tough. It was slow. I knew that these docks had the fish underneath them, and I couldn't really see them today. The bait that was the winner last time, that little finesse jig, just wasn't getting bit. So I did change baits to a worm. We slowed down with a general. Got bit. I think we put our second keeper in the boat doing that. Even mixed in the drop shot a little bit. They were biting the drop shot, so getting more bites, or getting actual bites, slowing down, but just not getting the quality we wanted or I was hoping for. And I still played around with some other baits. I think I threw the bladed jig under there, throwing the skipping jig under there, even the finesse jig. And the key moment today was for sure throwing the jig up under a dock, even though I kind of lost confidence in doing that today. But on the way back, retrieving it back in, had a big one come smoke it. Right there, it clicked, or what I thought would be clicking. And for me, that meant, all right, let's tie on a swim jig and swim it under these docks. You know, maybe instead of throwing this bait in there and catching them on the vertical on the fall and just letting it sit there, maybe they didn't want that. Maybe they wanted something a little bit more aggressive, like we saw last time. Lots of little bluegill, perch swimming around these fish underneath the docks, especially the ones that were on beds. When those little bluegill panfish came around, they'd chase them right away. They'd try to get them out of there ASAP, and that was the deal. Tied on the swim jig, 1/2 ounce bluegill pattern, paired it with a crud craw, and pretty much just threw it under the docks, swam it back, giving it little pops, kind of making it stay in the strike zone longer. And man, oh man, they were smoking it. Holy smokes. I mean, some of these fish were crazy. They bit once, I'd miss them, I'd throw back in there, they'd bite again, and it could have been the other bass under the dock as well, or their partner in the spawn. But just big fish. It was a big fish pattern. Everything else that we did today was catching fish, but just not that quality, not that size. And I really think today was a scenario where you needed the right bait, the right presentation, and the presentation was key. I think it had to be moving, had to be swimming, being a nuisance to these fish for them to bite, at least the big ones. Ended up catching a few over 20. I mean, some of the longest fish probably I've ever even caught on Cayuga Lake. These freaking fish just seem to grow and grow every year. At one point had, I think, 99 1/4 and needed one big fish or one kicker fish to cull out a 19, and that cast skipped it under the dock. Actually was about to leave, and then I just felt the line and something had me wrapped around a dock post, put pressure on it, somehow got the fish out of the dock, fought her to the boat, lipped her, kicker fish of the day. I think that was like 21 1/2, Cayuga beast, and that put put us over the 100-inch mark. I think 101.75, something like that. Today was our best 5, and we still had a 19 in there to get rid of, which you guys did see maybe at the end, maybe you didn't see, but had another big one under the dock that came unbuttoned. Actually had another accidental fish. I was just about to leave, about to reel up, she bit, saw her flash. It looked to be another 20-inch fish, but who knows? It's just another fish story. But anyways, guys, successful day out on Cayuga. Like I said, it is going to be dang hard to leave, and this trip is just going so fast. I love fishing here. It is so much fun. Yeah, that's gonna wrap it up for us today. As always, thank you guys for watching, for coming along. Hope you're enjoying the New York series. I know I am, and I will see you guys in the next one.